Hello, friends. Welcome back to Aunt Debbie's Boutique, where we teach the love of sewing to beginners. In our last episode, we made a baby blanket just like this, and we put right sides together and sewed around it, leaving an opening, and turned it inside out, and then we tied it. And it turned out very nice. It was a nice blanket. But this time, I'm going to show you some quilting skills for those who want to be challenged a little bit more. Now, normally a quilt has batting in it, and it would go between your top layer, your pieced layer that you put together, and then you would usually have just a plain piece of fabric on the back. And in between, sandwiched in between, would be some batting. We're not doing that. We're just using terry cloth, and that will make it thick enough. So we don't have a back on ours. We just have the terry cloth, and it goes with the other baby items we've been making. I've laid the quilt top out on top of our terry cloth. Now, if you want more information about how to make the quilt top, refer to the last video that we did on Saturday, and it will show you step by step on how to piece that together. I'll link it in the description box below. But I've left some room on the sides because we don't want to trim this until we know exactly how big it's going to be, until we're through with the quilting. Now, I've been working on it a little bit just to get a jump start, and I've got all the quilting done in this direction. We are stitching in the ditch, stitching right down the middle of that seam. And as you can see on the back, it gives us just a nice parallel lines. Now we're going to start stitching this direction. I've done one line this direction. And we're going to finish the stitching in the ditch. And you can watch on that so you can see how I do it. And then we will finish the quilt by putting binding around the edges. Okay, we've stitched in all the ditches now, and our back kind of looks like a checkerboard, like it should. And now our quilt won't separate when it's washed or any other time. Let's take our pins out, and then we're going to trim the edge to the exact same size as the quilt, and we'll work on the binding. Okay, we have the binding all sewed together with our seams, ironed flat, and then we've ironed this in half the whole way. We want to go to the back side of our quilt, and we're going to start. We're going to put the raw edges by the raw edges, but we're going to start a little ways down here so we can connect it properly when we come all the way around. And when we get to our corners, we will sew to 1/4 inch of the end, then we'll back off. We'll fold this back like that at a 45-degree angle. Then we will fold it over so this is even with this side, and we'll start a 1/4 inch in and take off again. That will make our corner so that when we get ready to turn it to the other side, we have a nice mitered corner. Okay, let's go to the sewing machine. Again, I'm using a 3-length stitch, an 11 organ needle, and white thread. And I'm stitching 1/4 inch. All right, I've sewn my binding on to my blanket, and unfortunately I had a very bad camera angle and got more of my lap than I did of the sewing. So I will go over what I did with the raw edge to the raw edge here. I stitched all the way around. Then I folded it at a 45-degree angle and back like this, and took off 1/4 of an inch from the edge and sewed all the way around. Once that was stitched on, I folded it around to the top and top stitched right on top of that. And as you can see, my top stitching here set real nicely on the back. Some people like to hand tack this down because it can get wonky on your back, but if you're careful, it should, and mine lays pretty smoothly right on that. Now I have quite a few threads that need trimming, and I will take care of that off camera. And I'm going to give it a nice steam press around the edges especially to make it a nice crisp finish. And we are finished with our quilt. I hope you've enjoyed this. This is going to make a nice baby gift once I trim all the threads. And as I said in my last video, if you're at the stage of life I am, you don't have too many babies to sew for anymore. And but I still enjoy making baby items and baby gifts. There are pregnancy centers all over the country that love to get this kind of stuff. They reward their, they help low-income women with needs and training, and they reward their girls that go to classes and complete training that they offer. They reward them with gifts, and the girls can save up points and get some really nice gifts. Plus, they make sure that every girl has what she needs when her baby arrives. So if you enjoy doing this kind of thing, I would encourage you to seek out some pregnancy centers and offer them your donations. All of the samples that I make for my patterns and for the demonstrations are all going to my local pregnancy center here. So if you would please like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. It helps me to be able to offer more videos. Next Saturday, you'll have a video on making a fabric basket that we're going to put it all in to package up nice for a nice baby gift. Thank you, and remember, whatever you do, do it to the glory of the Lord.